Hey guys, good morning. I just wanted to take a second to walk you through your course in Canvas. I'm Jen Scarhawk. I'm your instructor for Math 1314 plus 0214 for 16 weeks. Just a FYI, you will only see the 1314 Canvas course. I'm not going to publish the 0214. That way you only have to worry about looking in one place for everything. So you should be able to see my screen here. And so this is when you go into Canvas, the 1314-225, this is what you'll see. It's got my name, my email, if you need to reach me, my office phone number. I do prefer y'all send me a Canvas message because that'll go to my email as well as Canvas. But my number is there if you need me. If you're ever on campus and you want to come visit during my student hours, I'm in Biloxi 313K. And then I've got my hours listed below. And then you've got your syllabus linked here that you can read through. This video that you're watching now is linked as well. And then when you click start here, it will go to the orientation module, which is where you'll begin with everything. There's also some links up here. I'm going to go ahead and click course schedule. A lot of these things are going to be duplicated throughout, so there's more than one place for you to find them. All right, so it goes over, just to remember the structure I'm doing is your work is going to be due each week, Sundays at 11:59 p.m., with the exception of the last week, week 16. And that's because I've got to get grades entered and submitted before the due date for me. You can work on it at any time. You know, I don't have like a set time where it's okay, it's only open for this hour on this day. You have access to everything until the due date for the assignment. Everything's going to be done in my math lab, which I've abbreviated throughout as MML. And that was where your homeworks will be, your quizzes will be, as well as your exams and your final. The only things you will be submitting via Canvas upload is going to be work to support each of your exams. You will have 4 exams, and then the work to support your final, as well as one quiz. We have a common quiz. It's called a common assessment. And that is the only other one that you will be submitting via file upload. So every section we cover, you will have a homework assignment and it's set for unlimited. You can do it as many times as you like. And then every few sections, it varies. Sometimes it's 1 section, sometimes it's up to 4 sections. It just depends on how much content is in each section. You will have a quiz. And on the quizzes, you're limited to 2 tries. So if you take the quiz the first time, let's say you don't like your score, you want to try to improve it, you can go in and take it a second time, and then the higher of the 2 scores will go in for your grade. I've also got a link here if you want to see which sections are clumped together for your quizzes. You can click this and it will show you how the quizzes are broken in here. Let me go back to where I was. All right. So below that, I've got your course schedule, again, grouped by weeks, just to make it easier for you along with dates. So this week, week 1, we'll be doing the introduction, which is getting you familiar with everything, and then covering one section, the 2.1a. And then these at the back, this R3C, R4B, those are the sections it corresponds to in the book. If I've grouped some stuff together, I do make sure you know which sections are it corresponds to with the textbook in case you want to go look at it. So you've got your weekly schedule here for what we're covering when. All right, and let me go back to the home page since that's where I was. So this is where we were. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click start here to go through the orientation module. Got a lot of stuff in it. Like I said, everything's duplicated. So you've got, again, the link to this video here. You've got a little blurb about me if you'd like to read, what I expect of you for your course expectations. So again, I've got videos posted for everything. Watch your videos. Make sure you do your assignments on time. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory for a class. Don't forget to get your work uploaded. All right, here's your grading. So your homework is 11% of your overall grade. Your quizzes make up 13%, and then exams, you have 4 exams that are 14% each. So that's over half your grade between your tests, and then a final exam, which is 20%. So for the 4 exams in the final, again, uploading work to Canvas, make sure it's neat and organized. So like what I would expect to see is number 1, then your work associated with number 1. your answer. Number two, your work associated, and then your answer, and so forth and so on. You can do this via notebook paper and then submit photos. You can submit as many photos as you need. If you use something like an iPad or a tablet, you can write directly on there using something like a pencil, electronic pencil, and then you can upload that file. I just request a PDF because some of the files, they're a little finicky with me opening, and it takes longer if I have to email you and ask for a PDF. And another thing on that, don't throw your work away because sometimes the uploads get messed up or sometimes the uploads, I can't open them. So I will send you a Canvas message asking you to please reattach so I can view it. So don't throw any of your work away for your exams or your final exam. Um, so I'd already mentioned homework unlimited, quizzes 2 tries for each of your 4 tests. You can take those twice as well. So if you take test number 1, you're not very happy with your grade, you think you can do better, you can go in and take test number 1 a second time as long as it's not past the due date. So with that, keep that in mind. If you wait until the week of test number 1 and you start test number 1 at 10:30 at night on Sunday, you're not going to have time to go in and take it a second time because at 11:59 that night it will close. So do keep that in mind if you want to do that second attempt. Make sure you allow yourself time to do so. All right, textbook material, it's available right here in Canvas. You do not need to go buy one. You do, however, need a calculator. This right here is a photo of the calculator I recommend, a TI-36X Pro. It's around $20. So that's the calculator I would recommend you use. More info. All right, course schedule. Again, we've already been over the schedule, but here it is a second time if you'd like to view it. Like I said, everything's in there multiple times. Policies, suggestions, make sure you create a schedule, try to stick to it. If you struggle with finding time to get all this work done, message me and let's see if we can come up with a schedule to work around. I know a lot of you are working jobs, you've got kids at home. Shoot me a message and let's see if we can come up with a plan. All right, here's some little motivational videos. Those are always fun to watch. If you're struggling or you need some help with something as far as organization, study skills, etc., that's what this page is about. The OLRN, that's a mouthful. Make sure you do get that finished. You only have to do it once. So if you completed it here in a different semester, key right here, you do not have to retake it. So it's a one and done deal. BioSig, this is just something to help identify your devices. So I'm only doing it once a week. So each week, that's how you'll start your week. You'll do the discussion board, which has the bio sign embedded inside, and then you can go on to the work for the week. It just takes a second. Respondus, I'm not using this right now because it has caused issues. So you don't have to worry about this. I did put skip it. And again, and then here's the link if you want to go to the My Math Lab module to look at it. And if you want to go to the assignments tab to see where you're going to upload your work, you can also access those over here on the left-hand menu. The modules tab is where everything's going to be organized by week. So you can see what you've got to do, when it's got to be done. And then the assignments tab's way down here. I'll probably move that up closer to the top for you. And then also the tutoring, that's the tutoring website. We do offer tutoring in person, so you can see the tutoring lab hours if you'd like to come in person for tutoring for math. And then they've also got some Zoom tutorials if you need to schedule appointments. So there's your link for tutoring if you need any. I'm going to go to the modules page. So again, at the top, that's resources for online courses. You've got this Q&A discussion board. This is a generalized discussion board where you've got generalized questions. So not regarding one of the direct discussion board topics. Maybe you need some help with something. You want to reach out to a classmate to see if they found a good way to study something, etc. My Math Lab, this is where you're going to access your assignments. And then this one down here that says Pearson eText. If you do want to view your textbook, you can click that and it will take you to the embedded textbook. So My Math Lab will prompt you to download and then you will go in so you can view your assignment. I'm just going to click Make sure your pop-up blocker is turned off because it's going to pop in a new window. You're going to have to accept. I accept. I think I accepted. There we go. And then you're going to see your assignments pop in. You've got homeworks, and then I do have them organized in sequential order. So we'll do A homework, then we'll do B homework, and then after B's homework is finished, we will take the quiz that covers those two sections, so forth and so on. And then down here, you can see test number one. Test number one will occur after we have finished all of chapter 2. Okay, notice there's no time limit set on anything except exams. So quizzes, you can take your time on them if you need to, but exams and the final exam will be capped. Your exams, you have 105 minutes for an exam. All right, let me go back into here. All right, back because I want to look at my math lab mod. Okay, so there's a whole lot of stuff in here. Pretty much if you just go to the home, that's where you can navigate. You can view your grades, you can see your assignments. If you want to view just homeworks or just quizzes and tests, it's got those links. I would just go with the course home and start there. All right, then your orientation. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that because we've already covered it. And then resources. This is just a list of the link to the assignments. Here's your formula sheet. Make sure you do get this formula sheet saved, printed, downloaded, something. This is what you can use for every exam and every quiz, final, everything. So I would go ahead and get it downloaded and get familiar with it as you work through the weeks. And then everything's organized by weeks. So week 1, this is what you've got to do once you finish your orientation model. Start with the overview page, and it's going to tell you what we're covering. So you're going to do the orientation model. Once you've done that, you're going to download notes and watch the video and then complete the homework. So I'm going to click next. All right, so there's the link back to the orientation model if you have not done so. And then for the notes, I do give you a blank copy of notes for every section we cover. And then I also give you the completed notes, which is once I finished making the video, I save the completed notes as a PDF and I give you access to that as well. Because, let me open this note real quick. I know this is a long video, I'm sorry. If you go down to the bottom, everything there is what I will work through on the video. But then at the end, you see these examples that say example such and such, you try it. Those are examples that are not worked in the video, but they are worked out on the completed notes. So what those are for is kind of like a self-assessment for you to double check, hey, do I have this down? So you can go try these examples and then you can go pull up that completed set of notes and all of these you try it examples will be worked out for you. Let me close this and I'll go show you. So like here, if I click on the completed notes, eventually it'll load. There it goes. So down here, see how everything is completely worked out for you, but the example 5, you try it, is all completed as well. And then here's the video through YouTube, so you can watch the video. And then once you've done that, next. And then there's a wrap-up page to make sure you know what you needed to complete. The orientation model, that is linked back to it. My lights starting to turn off. And then the video over the first video, and then a link to the My Math Lab module for the homework. And every week, this is how it's going to be organized. If you click next, it's going to take you to week 2. So that's kind of your gist of navigating this course. I know it's a lot, especially because it's online. There's so much available. If you have questions about it, don't hesitate to post in the discussion board, shoot me a Canvas message, reach out to a classmate. You've got a lot of resources, so make sure you do take advantage of those. As far as updates, I will post every week on Mondays. Sometimes it'll be early Monday morning, sometimes it'll be a little bit later, to give you an overview of what your assignments are for the week. And then if you have questions, you can always reach out to me, come see me on campus, or set up a meeting via Zoom. So I look forward to working with you this semester, and I wish you the best of luck as you go through this course.